Oh boy. I'm just recovering, y'all. That race last night was nuts. Yeah, I ran the Coke 600 last night, and that took more out of me than any 24-hour race ever did. It's a lot of fun, though. Check out the live stream. So we did hit a milestone recently. We did hit 10,000 subscribers, and this is a real testament to you guys all who like, comment, subscribe, share, everything, and especially those of you who are in the videos. And like I've said before, I've never really talked about myself that much, and quite frankly, I wasn't sure if anybody really cared to get to know me, but a lot of you guys have become really good friends, and especially if you time is the most important thing we have, right? So if you're choosing to spend your time with me, that's a huge compliment. And I asked at the end of Funny Moments 50 if you had a question you'd like to ask me, to type it down below. A lot of you guys delivered. There's some great questions in there. I've had my eye on this idea for quite a while, so some of these questions are going to come from Discord because I posed the same question on there about a month ago just to try to prepare for this. All right, enough babbling. Let's get into this. All right, starting us off, we got NASCAR Man asking, what was the most exciting iRace you've run ever? Is it possible to see the highlights of it? Oh, what a question. That's a great one to start off with. And the answer is yes, you can see it. The most exciting iRace I ever won was when I finally won Talladega. The entire race is available to watch. I'm going to post it put it right here. That track just taunted me and tormented me for so long. It just seems like nothing could ever go right. And to finally get the win there it was phenomenal. It was absolutely my favorite. Penguin Brony says, congrats on the 10K. I've been subbed since your early days, and it makes me happy that you finally got to 10K. Q&A, what NASCAR race is your favorite race? As in, which one from the past do you look at most fondly? This one's an easy one, and that's Dale's win when he finally won at Daytona. Kind of the same reasons I would imagine that I won at Talladega, because it was actually kind of funny. People were making kind of comparisons with that, and I thought that was kind of funny. But yeah, when Dale finally won at Daytona, I've watched that race so many times that I could probably quote the entire thing. Heck, I remember watching it live. Nightmare Eco F-150 has two questions. I really missed the discussion on is a Fig Newton a cookie? It's not, it's a pastry. And is a hot dog bun a taco? A taco is a hot dog and a hot dog is a taco. They got it backwards, I swear. And a lot of y'all have been posting lately about some law or ruling in Indiana about how they said a hot dog's a sandwich. Indiana doesn't know what they're talking about. And I don't know what would trigger them to even have that discussion. Maybe someone watched the channel. And he also says, also, would you ever play some Wreckfest with some viewers? Unfortunately, I'm not on iRacing, but I love watching those videos you put up. Yes, I love Wreckfest. I have a funny story about Wreckfest. Before I could even afford iRacing myself, I used to play a lot of Wreckfest. And what I would do is I'd pretend that I was working my way up to get to iRacing just to play with my brain a little bit. It was a lot of fun. I play with the guys every once in a while. We haven't done it in a while, but yeah, I would absolutely be interested in hosting some Wreckfest. Let me know what you guys think about that. Maybe we can do that sometime. Tyler Larson says, for the Q&A, what is your favorite video game of all time besides iRacing? What is your dad's favorite video game of all time? Oh, what a question to ask. My favorite system of all time is the original PlayStation, without a doubt. I love the original PS1. But if I had to pick one game that is my favorite, I would say the new PGA Tour 2K games. The course designer they have on there is friggin' phenomenal. I love it. You can literally, if you can picture, it's like Minecraft. If you can picture it in your brain, you can make it come to life. I would imagine Dad's favorite is that as well, because anytime I make a course, we'd play it and people could rate them. They could, give them 1 out of 5 stars, and you'd see how many times people played it. I even had one course get reviewed on YouTube once. And as far as Dad's favorite video game, he likes those old Atari games. I know Mega Mania was one of his favorites, and he's also pretty good at Qbert. Colton asks, do you work for Terminix? Love your videos, dude. Look forward to them on my dreadful Mondays. Yes, I work for Terminix. I kill bugs for a living. Shout out to the guys on the branch. It's a good job. I enjoy it for the most part. It can be really tiring in the summers because it's obviously our busy season. And the reason why I started racing with the Terminix paint scheme way back in the early days was because I thought it'd be funny to call them my sponsor, because they were essentially paying me. So I was like, yeah, let's just put Terminix on the car. I know a lot of the guys at work watch, so shout out to you guys. Metal Maverick, Honk, or Awooga? Awooga! We had some guy blowing that Awooga horn in the Daytona 24-hour race. Is that you? Tell me if that's you. VA Wahoo says that guy definitely knew who your dad was, probably why I kept hitting him to make the video. He's referring to in Funny Moments 50, if you guys saw it, there's a guy who kept running over dad. He hit him like 3 times to knock him out of the race, and dad wasn't happy. But he also says, what's one car and track you'd love to turn laps at? Ooh. Don't laugh. Easily the 87 stock car at Nürburgring in real life. Pretty much anything at Nürburgring. I think that that track is just the ultimate test of driving ability. King! Oh, it's King. What's up, King? Of course, congratulations on 10K. Now for my Q&A question. If you could go back to before you enlisted and had another choice of branch to pursue, what would have been and why? Ooh, this one's interesting. For those of you who don't know, I used to be in the Navy, but if I could choose a different branch, I don't know, probably the Army. Be like an Army Ranger, be a sniper or something. Those guys are badass. Ah, Daniel. Daniel's been around for a long time. JD with another banging video. Love it. Keep up the good work. Thank you for entertaining us. Also, congrats on hitting 10K. Q, my question is, what made you get into YouTube and what big plans do you have next? Honestly, this whole YouTube thing was just an accident. What I did was I just record races, show them to dad because I knew he'd get a kick out of watching them, and he would critique my driving and tell me what I could do better. Then one day I just decided to make a compilation video. I wanted to see if he'd think it was funny. Didn't really care about the views. I think the first one got about 100 views in a month. Then I decided to make another one. Second one got about 1,000 views in a week. That was a huge jump. And then when the third Funny Moments came out, and especially the 4th and 5th and 6th, the growth was so fast that it actually scared me, and I almost deleted the channel. And the rest is history. I've been pretty much doing the same formula ever since. I have a good bit more variety of videos now, but nothing gets as many views as the Funny Moments. And to answer the second part of the question, what big plans do I have next? Well, I got a lot of new series ideas that I'm hoping are big hits, but only time will tell. Kenneth Barrett asks, what's one of your favorite 2000s paint schemes in real life? I like the Looney Tunes paint scheme Gordon ran in 01 for the Looney Tunes race at Richmond. Honestly, I know Dale hated it, but I loved that rainbow number 3. It was just really different from what he normally races. I also really like Gordon's Pepsi paint scheme, just a really sharp looking car. And actually, Jamie McMurray's Crown Royal car I liked a lot. Raging Forehead asks, hey JD, congrats on 10K. What's your favorite arcade style racing game? I've noticed that you put clips of NASCAR Rumble in your videos before. I love that game, it's so much fun. Any other racer like that? There's only one answer to this. Daytona! Sorry, I won't do that again. Daytona USA, 100%. I have looked at eBay for that 8-player arcade thing. Hey, if I pick the right 6 numbers for the lottery, anything's possible. Back to the Future DMC 1984. By the way, phenomenal name. That conversation you and Robin had, it not been an iRacing out of context, sounded like a completely different conversation. We have moments like that. My question is, if you could rework with anyone from the past before you made it on your own, who would it be? I'm going to assume you're talking about YouTubers. Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm sorry if I am. But if that is what you're asking, it would easily be DJ EJ. In my opinion, he's the best iRacing YouTuber we got. He helped me a lot in my early days of just learning how to drive really on iRacing, gave me a lot of great tips. He's a friend. I talk to him every once in a while, race with him. Super nice guy, very, very smart and very helpful. He puts out, I think, the best content on YouTube for iRacing. Heck, I even watched his stuff before I even had a computer. And Justin, if you're watching this, I would consider it a great privilege to be able to work with you sometime. Dalton Gibson asks, who is your auto racing Mount Rushmore? I love Mount Rushmore questions. If you're talking about skill, and I only really follow NASCAR, this might be a little controversial. If you think I'm way off here, let me have it. In my opinion, I don't know how you can't have one without Dale Earnhardt, Richard Petty, I'm gonna put Jeff Gordon and Darrell Waltrip on there. I think that those are probably some of the most influential drivers we've ever had in NASCAR. Your local RX guy says, love this one. Never thought I'd see Twisted Metal in an iRacing video. I love Twisted Metal. Speaking of, I probably should put that as one of my favorite video games of all time because it was. Opinions on iRacing, Rallycross, and what they should do with it. Great question. I do think that Dirt Road doesn't quite get the love that it deserves. I personally would love to see snow, ice, mud, that kind of thing added to iRacing. How many licks to the center of a Tootsie Pop? 349. I did it when I was about 8. Ah, Cat. This is another person that's been around for quite a while. Congratulations on 10K, man. You deserve every one of them. Question, will you still love us at 20K? Love your work, man. Please, as time allows, keep the videos coming. That's really nice. And yes, I will love you guys at 20K. And I do not have any plans to stop or slow down. Thomas oh, hey Tom. Favorite Gominator moment? I've got a few. But if I had to pick one, it would probably be the time when you kind of got into the head of a particular driver that likes to wreak havoc on super speedways. I know you know who I'm talking about. He would always race super speedways and he would just run people over, wreck people, and just be a bully on the track. Well, one day he tried doing that to Tom and Tom wasn't having it, and Tom rattled his cage pretty good to where I don't think he could even hold a straight line when Tom was around him. It was the best. I also know not to challenge your fortitude, of the testicular variety.
Do you have the fortitude, the testicular kind?
Ryan Taft asks, what's it like racing with your dad? Do you enjoy it? There's times I race with my dad also. It's the best. Ever since I was a little kid, Dad and I have always done everything together. And he's come a long way too. We got him hooked up with some new Moses stuff recently, and I only expect his skill to increase. But Dad, be warned, you beat me at literally everything. iRacing won't be one of those things, sir. Innie or an Audi? I have an Innie. Speaking of Dad, I appreciate the opportunity I had to race with you and your pops. That bond you got is what I appreciate most about your videos. That's a really nice thing to say. Congrats on the 10K for your Q&A video. Here goes my question. How did you get your pops to race with you? It took some work. Not because he didn't want to or anything, it just took a little bit of saving to get him started. Blue Racer Cam says, congrats on the 10K, huge milestone. It's nice to finally put a face to the voice. What or who got you started with iRacing and streaming? Actually, that was you guys. Like I said before, I never really planned to be a YouTuber. I just posted stuff for Dad and people just started watching and I just ran with it. CHX says, other than the 87s, what is your favorite NASCAR model or era? I really like the mid to late 90s. In my opinion, that was the peak in NASCAR. I really love it. Cinnamon Tea asks, ooh, cinnamon tea. I've never had cinnamon tea. Anyway, focus. How long have you been interested in racing and what was your favorite race of all time? Pretty much since I could walk. I remember having a big wheel when I was really little and I wanted to race that all over the place. Like it's been a part of my interest since I can remember. And my favorite race of all time would, circling back to what I said before, would be Dale Earnhardt winning the 500. It was just the greatest and triumphant victory. Yay, we finally get a face to that angelic angelic voice. I hate my voice. I'm super happy for you, man. I feel blessed to be one of the first 10,000. God bless you, man. And here's to 10,000 more subscribers. As for my question, what's your favorite childhood memory? This might sound a little silly or trivial, but it's actually going to the driving range at night with my dad, especially when it was just the two of us. It was just, I can't explain it. I don't know if it was just the atmosphere, the fact it was always like a Saturday night or what, but golf with Dad has always been a very sacred thing to me, and I know he feels the same way. But that's probably my favorite childhood memory, golfing at the driving range with Dad at night. A lot of the times I remember him just teaching me about life and kind of making fun of my iron play at the same time. But yeah, I don't know why. That's a great question. Going to the driving range with Dad at night. Scorpio says, congratulations on 10K subscribers and making it to video number 50. One for the Q&A. Is Jello a solid, liquid, or gas? Well, it starts out as a solid. You put it in your mouth. You can make it become a liquid again by going, and trust me, it will become a gas at some point. Ah, Midwest Chief, you've been hanging out in the streams a lot lately too. Congratulations on 10K subs. Enjoy watching new videos, man. As for a question, since you're in the Navy, what was your favorite place you were deployed at, and where is somewhere you would like to go visit that you haven't been to yet? Now, I was stationed on the USS Ronald Reagan. That's why I run number 76. It was CVN 76. Ironically, I went to a West Coast carrier because I wanted to go to Australia. We never made it to Australia. Don't know if it was just bad luck or what, but I never got a chance to go there. That's where I would really like to go. But my favorite place that I've ever been would probably be Singapore. I've been there 3 times. It gets pretty wild. Gamer, this is another guy that's been around for a long time. Wow, 50th episode and 10K subs. I'm happy I was here from the beginning. Yeah, he's been here since the very, very beginning. And I'll be here as long as possible. And my question to you would be, how did you get into iRacing? Honestly, Dad kept bugging me about it for a long, long time. I think from like 10 years ago, he says, you need to get this iRacing thing. You need to get on iRacing. And I was like, well, I was never a PC guy. And to me, it just seemed really complicated. And it has been complicated, but I've learned as I've went, and I've had a lot of help from a lot of the guys in the community. But then one day, it was December of 2021, it was a Friday night too. I just says, you know what, I'm just gonna finally download it. And I had like this old PS3 wheel and a laptop that I played it on. So I did have some pretty humble beginnings. Just Me, you know, says, great vid again. Since you are the only friend I have on iRacing, I was wondering, how many friends do you have on there? I don't know, let's check. It says I have 198 friends on here. And I accept any friend request that comes my way on there. And the reason for that is if you want to race with me or even talk or something, you can join my session. You can see where I'm at on there, so you can come hang out if you want. Day 500 Champ says, absolutely had a blast watching these. Congrats on 10K. As for a question, what would you consider to be the best moment of my life so far? Wow. Circling back to golf with Dad, I would have to say that it's when we played the golf course TPC Sawgrass. It is considered on the PGA Tour the 5th major. It's home to arguably the most famous golf hole in the world, the Island Green 17th. I don't know, we always said we were going to play there someday. We've been to the tournament there to watch the pros several times, and we used to always say, someday, Josh, someday we're going to play there. And a couple years ago, we finally made that happen. And when golfers find out that you've played that course, they don't ask you how you shot. They ask you one question. Did you hit the green? Did you hit that Island Green? I put 3 in the water. And Dad would not let me live it down if I didn't put out there that he did in fact hit the green and he parred the hole. I'm gonna get another shot at it someday. Sugar Struzn says, really loving these transitions, too much nostalgia. I thought it'd be a little more entertaining than just static, so I just put some random stuff in there. Seems to be a big hit with people. Congrats on 10K and the big 5-0 Rage Rex and Funny Moments, JD. Looking forward to 20K and beyond. I'm sure this is something you've said somewhere on live stream or one of your videos, but favorite car, favorite track. I actually have said this before somewhere, I can't remember where. But if I want to have the best chance at winning, I would say the 87s at Charlotte, or 87s at Atlanta, or 87s at Texas. One of those 3 tracks, but I would say 87s at Charlotte, I will probably be at my toughest. Now we're getting to some of the questions that were posted on Discord a while back. Joshua Douglas asked, what's making you go to Five Flags more? I have been going to Five Flags Speedway a lot more lately, and the track is just down the road. If there weren't any trees or buildings in the way, I'd probably be able to see the track from here. And the answer to the question is just I'm at my peak with racing. I'm into racing now more than I ever have in my entire life. Dan Larson asked, question for JD, do you have a favorite driver in the Cup Series right now? What about the past? The past, 100%, I idolized Dale Earnhardt Sr. Ever since Dale Earnhardt died, I followed Kevin Harvick and rooted for him. And since he's retired now, I don't really know who to root for. And I don't really have a favorite driver right now. I think NASCAR has a serious personality problem when it comes to these new drivers. You can't really blame these younger drivers too much though, because I feel like NASCAR as a whole tries to subdue personality for fear of backlash, I guess. I think they're afraid that if they show too much personality, it'll make them look bad. Just my opinion, but I think that's the problem. Here's a good question. Leadfoot asks, any plans to get into a race car on a local track, oval, or road course? Five Flags is just down the road. Someday, I do hope to build a race car and take it out to Five Flags and maybe race on Friday nights and maybe the Sportsman Series or something. I don't know. But could happen if I work hard enough. Hey, Diesel, what's up, man? What are your thoughts on other racing simulators such as ACC, R-Factor, Automobilista, I assume that's how it's called, etc.? Gran Turismo played a big part of my love of cars. I never really took it seriously to build a sim rig for Gran Turismo or anything, but it definitely played a big role of my love of cars at a very early age. The cool thing that I really loved about Gran Turismo is it's not just about racing. You could take photos. It gave you history on the actual cars themselves. And you could car collect. You could do a lot of different things. It was like living in a car lover's dream. And I still to this day think it's a great sim. Diesel also asks, if you weren't doing iRacing, how would you be spending all your free time? I really don't know. This channel has been such a blessing to me that, I mean, you guys really have no idea how empty my life has been for these past few years. Because of this channel and all your guys' support, I have friends, I have something to work on, I have something to look forward to, something to do, really, you know, and I'll never forget you guys for that. I always think it's important to have a relationship with your audience, just because I know without you guys, I don't have anything, and I will never forget that. But to answer your question, Diesel, I'd probably just be practicing golf. I still do that, but that's probably all I would really have. AJ, why? Why must you torture me? I probably will never beat him at golf. And this is what I look like. When will I get another win at Talladega? Probably next time I go there. I'm feeling pretty frisky. Joe put a question in here. What's my dream job and why? How many Fig Newtons can Chuck Norris chuck if Chuck Norris chucked Fig Newtons? Infinite. He can't be stopped. And my dream job, I always wanted to be a cop. I think that is, I think that's a job that would be really good for me. Oh, AJ, you're back. Hello. Will JD ever catch me in iRacing? Yes, I fully believe I will. When does JD become the people's champ? Does he smell what The Rock is cooking? I smell something. Moving on. Oh, here's an interesting one. Jake says, if you could go back in time, which era of racing would you watch? Now, I partly want to go back to what I said before about the mid to late 90s and go watch a race then, but there is something I'd prefer a little bit more. I would love to go to like the 60s, I believe it would have been, and see Ralph Earnhardt on a dirt track, watch that kind of racing. That'd be pretty cool. Here's another one from Diesel. If you could never have Fig Newtons and Capri Suns again, unthinkable. What would be your replacement refreshments? I really like Minute Maid, Fruit Punch, and Tropical Punch. And also pulpy orange juice. What is so taboo about pulp in your orange juice? You can't find it anywhere. The only place I can find it is Publix. I like it to be so pulpy that it's like someone chewed an orange and spit it into my glass. I like that. Travis Cole Motorsports says, what part of Talladega do you dislike? All of it. All right, and the last one, Kino Busek I hope I'm not butchering that too bad. I'm sorry. Says, congratulations on 10,000. And honestly, I'm happy to be one of them and absolutely love these videos, especially for someone who can't afford iRacing and get my racing enjoyment from league racing on NASCAR Heat 5. I played a lot of NASCAR Heat back in the day. Anyway, my question for you, how do you stay so calm when you're purposely taken out or get caught up in someone else's retaliation because they aren't being smart about it and end up causing a massive wreck? Well, first of all, it happens. I get angry just like anybody else. I'm competitive. I want to win. But there's so much more to iRacing and having interactions with people than just racing. Sometimes people are just having a bad day. If you give them just a little bit of kindness, it might brighten their day a little bit. How many times do you get into a wreck and you're immediately pissed off or mad, but as soon as they say, hey man, my bad, I'm sorry, it just immediately makes them feel better? At least it does for me. I think it works for most people. I think most people, once they get an apology, it goes a long way. But honestly, the answer is really is just Jesus. He just gives you this peace, and I don't know, it's just what worked for me. This was a lot of fun to make, you guys. 10,000 subscribers is a hell of a milestone for us. And yes, I say us because we're a community, and without you guys, there is no channel, there's no content, no point really. And I'll never forget that. I will always remember that, and I love you guys so very much. If you guys ever want to talk to me, you can send me a message on here. You can join my Discord, talk to me there. I'll put the link in the description. And I really don't know what else to say other than just thank you. Thank you so much. Maybe someday we'll get to 100,000 and I'll open up that little play button they mail you. But I don't know. I try to be realistic. I really, really appreciate everything, you guys. Thank you. I love y'all to death. Need to talk, send me a message. God bless. And thanks for watching.